friends, it's Erin or Everyday Erin, and I'm back with another video. And of course I'm not prepared, so I'm looking down at my phone, because I was just thinking a long while back, I shared with you a WIP video, and I'm trying to find the date on that. The date on that was October 29th, and I showed you all the WIPs I had across all manners of crafting. And there were a lot of them. And I want to give you an update as to where I am on all those WIPs. First, I will start with, I have not finished anything cross-stitch. I haven't finished or touched anything quilting. I haven't finished the mini album that I had in that WIP video. So we won't talk about those three crafts. But yarn is another story. I have made some pretty significant progress in the yarn portion of that list. So I thought, now that it is the new year, well, by the time you see this, it is the new year, that I would share with you what of that list was completed and what still needs work on the knit/crochet side of things. So here's my list, and I will go just down and start at the top and end at the bottom. The first thing on this WIP list is the cabled sweater for Kristen. And you may or may not remember, Kristen saw a sweater in an LL Bean catalog, and I said, I think I have a pattern that's very similar to this. Now, this was 2 years ago. And the sweater had been in progress. And then I ran out of yarn. I was closing in on the very end and I ran out of yarn, but I am happy to report, and you probably already know if you've watched any of my recent videos or follow me on Instagram, that sweater is finished, and here is a picture of her sporting that sweater, looking wonderful and very pleased with it. So the cabled sweater is finished, and that's a big boy. That's a heavy sweater, and that's a lot of cables. All right. The next project I had in progress were 2 Christmas stockings that were made out of crocheted granny squares. And I brought those on our trip to Amish country, and I am happy to report, I don't know if you know about these being finished, but they are finished, and they are in our gifting bin upstairs. These are for a specific person who's asked for these a few times, and I had yarn left over from the last time I made them for her. So these will sit up there until she needs more stockings, and I did use up the rest of the yarn, which was my goal. So project number 2 on there was finished, and this was finished. The cabled sweater was finished in November, and the stockings were finished in October. All right, that's project number 2 and 3. Next is Scrappy Happy. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't touched the Scrappy Happy blanket, but I do have it here because it will be moving upstairs. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. I think I might try and weave in some ends. Here is my Scrappy Happy blanket. There's no way you're going to see it all, but you probably know by now that this is on my list of goals for 2022 to do some work on this. So Scrappy Happy upstairs. No progress as of this video, but there will be progress in the very near future. Okay, next is another blanket, another knit blanket, and that is, let me see if the pattern's in here. I don't think the pattern's in here. That is Bits and Bobs, and this is a Bakery Bears pattern, and I haven't had any progress on this since I made that last video. Let me see if I can figure this out, but I have done some thinking on this blanket. And live and in living color, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to this is going. Months of work here. Months of work. This is off the needles. This is being frogged. And I have a plan for this yarn in 2022. And you probably already know it, but one of my goals this year is to crochet some sort of double-stranded sock scrap blanket, and I would like to use this. This is never, ever going to get finished. I mean, this took a year. I'm not going to finish it. There's some mistakes in it that I see every time I look at it, so bye-bye, bits and bobs. It's a great pattern. It's not for me, and that's okay. Although I see everybody else's and I love them, so maybe I'll revisit it someday. Who knows? And now I have some needles. What size are these? They're probably 4s or 6s. 6. I always seem to be short on 4 and 6 size needles. All right, we have another blanket next. Just one second, I gotta sneeze. All right, so as I mentioned, the next thing on the list was another blanket. It was the Vivid blanket from Tin Can Knits, and I had been working on that for, I think it was over a year. I can't even remember when I started it. But once again, on my trip to Amish country this year, the Vivid was finished, and I'm going to hold it up here and you won't be able to see it. So I'll also insert some pictures that Kristen and I took after our trip of this finished. I finished this in October 2021. October? No, I didn't finish it on the trip. I finished it after we got home. I finished it in the very beginning of November 2021. And I love this blanket. It sits on the back of the couch. I love this yarn. This is Stylecraft Batik. I think that's just what it's called, Stylecraft Batik. We have someone coming around the corner. Hi, Daisy. We're pet sitting Daisy today, so. Vivid blanket finished, and that'll go back up on the couch. I'm just watching for it. You hear little footprints. Okay, I had a sweater that I needed to weave in the ends, and that is this. I still can't remember what pattern this is. And this sweater fits. It's pretty. It's just not my style. I saw someone else had knit this, and I loved it on them. Maybe if I lose a little bit of weight, I'll feel differently about it, but it is very form-fitting and not something that I am at a comfort level of wearing. So there's this mystery short sleeve sweater. And my phone's ringing. Oh, hold on. I'm going to hope this works. My computer just ate the last whole section of this video, which was pretty big. So we just ended with the short sleeve sweater, mystery sweater. Next up is Constellate. Constellate was a great pattern. I did finish it, and if you've watched any of my Vlogmas, you probably saw this a lot because I can't stop wearing it. It is a more involved pattern. It is fingering weight, but it is a lot of fun, and I have more of this yarn, and I may knit it again. Not in this color, but Maureen gave me this yarn, and I love the yarn. It's awesome. It's Knit Picks Preciosa. So there's that. Next up was the Rolling Rock sweater, and you may remember that I have attempted to knit this sweater 2 times before, and I cast it on again this past fall. Well, just last night when I was sitting knitting it, I noticed a colossal mistake that was like 30 rows back, and I was just over it. So I have broken up with the Rolling Rock sweater. I think it's beautiful, but it is not meant for me to knit. And I will take this yarn and I will make it into something else beautiful, yet to be determined. So, and I'm okay with that. So that's the second frog on my list. Next up, we had the toddler sweater I knit for my cousin's son, and that was part of Nanny Swimo. And in case you don't remember that, that was a sweater that gave me a lot of headaches, but it came out great in the end. And here's a picture of my cousin's son wearing it, and he loves it, and they love it, so it's best of both worlds. Something else I'm not exactly sure I have pictures of are 2 sets I made for an order, and one was the monster hat with a complimentary monster cowl and some mittens. That's out of that started my obsession in December with super bulky yarn, so there was that. And then there was also a hat called the basket hat, and I'm pretty sure I've shown it to you in November. I'm pretty sure I did. That was really hard on my hands, but I knit that hat as well as some matching mittens for that. And if I have photos of those, they will be up on the screen for you to see, but I don't know if I do. And finally is the silver thorn sweater, which was my 3rd sweater of the Nanny Swimo of 2021. I almost said 2022. And I did finish that. And there's a picture of it here, although I'm sure you've probably seen it. It is so cozy. I love that sweater. I love that pattern. It is a really beginner-friendly sweater with some nice shaping in the neck. I like a little bit of short rows in the back of the neck so that the back of the sweater is a little higher than the front, if at all possible, and that has it in it. But really, really great instructions, really, really great pattern. Highly recommend. And that is probably one of my favorite sweaters. It is so comfy. So all told, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 projects on my list of yarn WIPs, and 2 were frogged, which brings me, how many did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 2 I frogged brings me down to 11. 1 I have not touched brings me down to 10, which means 10 of these 13 things I managed to finish before the end of the year, which in my mind, that wasn't my goal with this. My goal was just to see really, I had a lot of WIPs and what those WIPs were. But 10 out of 13, when a lot of them were really large, I call that a win. I definitely call that a win. Right here. All right. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys are doing well. And until next time, I will talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye.